Welcome back to freehighschooleducation.com. Today we are going to do chapter 6.2 in Algebra 1 on page 204, powers of monomials. Here we have two rules for the powers of monomials. The first one is put in the book. Here we have a monomial. It has a base and a power, and this whole thing is raised to another power. We have done this in the previous chapter, and we said in this case we multiply the powers. This is power to power. Now another situation would be something like this. Here we can make this a little bit better than what they have put in the book by giving each base a power of its own. And we can do this here, another power, such as P. Each one has a power of its own. Here in this case, we are going to raise each one to M. And since this is power to power, then for A, we are going to have Mn. And for the second base, which is P, we are going to multiply its power with this power, so it will be Pm. And that will be the answer to this. Now we'll do some exercises to illustrate how we are going to use these rules. We are going to do example number 2 on page 205, minus 4c cubed. Here we have two bases in this number. We have the 4 and we have the c, both raised to 3. So we are going to multiply their powers. The first number is minus 4, and that's the whole thing is cubed. And the second one is c raised to 1 cubed. So we multiply the powers, 1 times 3, and that's 3. Now we have to deal with this. That will be minus 4 times minus 4 times minus 4. And in this case, minus 4 times minus 4, these two will give us plus 16 times minus 4, and that will give us minus 64. So we can replace this with minus 64. And this stays as c cubed. We'll do some of the classroom exercises. Number 1, a squared raised to 4. That's power to power, and that will be a raised to 8. We simply multiply the powers. The second one is y cubed, the whole thing squared. Again, we multiply the powers, and that will be y raised to the power 6. We'll do next number 7. Minus here first we have to deal with this number before we do the square. So we are going to remove the parentheses. 2 times minus 1, that gives us minus 2. And now the minus 2 is squared. And that will be minus 2 times minus 2. And that gives us 4. So we can replace this with 4. Still we have a minus outside. And this is a minus 1 multiplied by 4, and that gives us minus 4. And that's the answer. Then we'll do number 9. Here each base is raised to the power 1. And now we are going to multiply the power of each base with 2. 1 times 2, that's 2, and d is raised to 1. We multiply 1 times 2, and that's 2. And the answer will be c squared d squared. Next will be number 13. X squared here again we have two bases, one is x and the other one is y, and the y is raised to 1. We multiply the powers of each with 3, so that will be x to the 6 y cubed, and that's the answer. Next is number 14 minus here we have three bases. We have this and this and this, 2 and the x and the y. Each one is raised to 1. Now we multiply all these with the power 4. Two raised to 4, that's 4 times 4, that's 16. Now we multiply the minus with this number, and that will be minus 16, x to the 4th, y to the 4th, and that's the answer. Next we'll do number 16. Here we have four bases, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2, which is raised to 1, the a raised to power 2 or a squared, b raised to 1, and c cubed. We are going to multiply all these powers with the power 2. So the 2 will be squared. 2 times 2, that's 4. b, 1 times 2, that's 2. And the c, 3 times 2, and that's 6. 2 squared is 4. The rest of the numbers will not change. Now we are going to multiply the minus times this number, and we get minus 4, a to the 4th, b squared, and c to the 6th. And that's the answer. And with this, we come to the end of this session. We hope to see you again.